Kangana Ranaut, who calls Veer Das an illustration of soft terrorism, found herself at the receiving end also of potential criminal complaints after she suggested at a Times Now conclave, the channel known for its so-called super patriotism, that India had only gained Azadi in 2014. Usse pehle to bheek thi. It was just begging for it. Now, does Kangana Ranaut prove to be the ultimate litmus test, Akash, for liberals? Or have we now reached these two Indias, which are so divided that there is no consistent principle that we are able to apply because we are just so sharply divided now?
Barka, just 2 points before I answer this, because it's important to set the record straight. Due respect to Sadanand, but there is a divorcement from the harsh realities that one has to survive here. A telephone call here, a tap there, looking over the shoulder. So even if tomorrow Veer Das comes out and apologizes, I will not hold him in any lesser regard, because I know that he has a career ahead of him, and it is very easy to disrupt careers. It doesn't happen in America, but here you have a Prakash Jha whose set is assaulted, people are beaten up. It's as easy as that. In America, if there had been a minister who would have said, this comedian is not going to perform on my state, it's an extrajudicial statement. His career might have been in jeopardy, but that is how things are, and that is how bad it is. So let's accept that and not hold somebody to such high regards.
Can you hold that? Can I have Sadanand just respond to it? Because neither Abhineet nor you have actually agreed with his somewhat cynical, more laconic take. Neither super impressed with Veer Das's performance, and even less so by what he calls a mild retraction thereafter. Sadanand, go ahead.
No, actually, we're not disagreeing. I mean, I have I can see where you're coming from. I'm obviously not in your feet. I'm just saying that he can do that, and you can understand it. I will think less of him for that. It's not as though I'm going to sort of think that this is some terrible human being. I'll still support his right to say what he says. But yes, all said and done, if there are two human beings and one of them takes the stage in Washington and speaks his heart out, so to speak, and then just says, let the chips fall where they may, and the second human being says exactly the same thing and then comes and says, sorry, sir. Not that he said that, but let's say in theory that he says, sorry, sir, galti ho gayi. I may understand what the second response, but I will respect the first person more.
Completely. I completely agree with that. Obviously, one would hold the former person in higher regard. We're just trying to contextualize why that sorry may come. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, so we basically understand each other there. The other thing, Barka, you brought up, I mean, look at what we are talking about. We're talking about how a country behaves and how countries' politicians behave when they go abroad versus a comedian. And Barka, there lies the bigger issue for me in this whole episode. How is it that a nation that is so powerful, that is going to be a $5 trillion economy, considers itself as a superpower, has one of the world's most strongest political leader, is frothing in its mouth because one comedian goes and puts a 5-minute skit, and that has damaged the reputation of India? So, Barka, there is a deeper problem.
But talk about Kangana. Talk about Kangana.
Yeah, I'm just saying there is a deeper problem here, is that we have become so touchy is because we are feeling the emptiness of not being a superpower, and when the truth is slapped on our face, we go all frothy. And that is why when a person like Kangana comes, we are very happy. Why? Because it is an illusion that we are living in. Oh, star comes, says this, supported by the government. No problem. Why? Because a drawing room conversation that a lot of Uncle G's actually have is, oh, you see, the Congress is a continuation of the British, and therefore the actual independence. She's not the first one to say that. There are many people who have said things. I mean, we've really got independence after 2014. Remember, GST was our second Azadi. So we've had this whole Azadi concept going on for some time. And the whole process, Barka, is to discredit the entire stuff that has happened before us. Nehru has been discredited. Gandhis have been discredited. Why not discredit the entire freedom movement and start afresh? Because when you don't have anything to show, you want to show that you are starting afresh. And this excuse will then build ki abhi to shuruaat ki hai, abhi to 7 saal hue hain.
So two parts to it, Barkha. I mean, I don't agree with the absolute equation that you're bringing about between two Indias. In my mind, there is one India dominating the other India. I'll give you an example. If Kangana was Munawar and Munawar was Kangana, I don't think the Z plus security for him entering a state would have happened. Veer Das is getting threatened. Munawar is threatened to perform in a certain state. What Kangana received was a Z plus security to enter that state, right? clearly the treatment is different. Uh,
Yeah.
the Bheek comment. Now imagine a stand-up comedian doing a live show and saying that our freedom fighters got us the freedom, which is a sort of a sort of Bheek. Now imagine that clip going viral, and imagine the damage that the comedian would suffer, the comedy studio would suffer, and everyone around the comedian would suffer. Kangana, I think, is one of the biggest competitors for us as stand-up comedians because the kind of jokes she riles up in live shows actually is a matter of envy. I mean, I sit around and start thinking that there's a journalist out
I
there who's thinks the nation wants to know. There's a Kangana out there. And who all do I compete with right now? I mean, we also have certain ministers at very senior levels. I can't take the names because Lalit Modi would get offended. But the point is this. I mean,
I always say that truth is the biggest sort of source of insecurity for anyone in the creative arts in India.
Absolutely. And my point is this. I mean, how on earth are we trying to equate the two Indias? I think the only point where I'll disagree with Veer, okay, and I must tell you that as a stand-up comedian, I've often looked at Veer to represent a bigger version of the art that he has pioneered in the country. And I was absolutely impressed with what he did in the US. The only thing that I disagree with him is this equation that he brings about and says two Indias. There is no two Indias. There is no two Indias. There's a Komal Sharma who's still winning the hide and seek game with one of the most proud police forces, and she's winning it hands down. I mean, how on earth is that possible? Imagine if that was Munawwar. How much of time would it take for the cops to go and catch Munawwar? So here's the thing. I think there's no equation there. Do we need to stand up for people who with influence and power when they aren't? I think, to tell you the truth, I think all folks, the right thinking folks, are slightly getting tired right now because the institutionalization of the kind of mob mentality that's happening in this country, that is not making it a fair play for anyone, right? And there's only a certain amount of fight that we can put in for folks out there. And therefore I think that honestly this country needs a deeper sense of reflection.
पर आपने जो एक बहुत serious चीज कही, that phrase stays with me, the institutionalization of the mob. That's actually what we're looking at. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.